Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Classic Wrestling Cast, where we go in depth on classic wrestling. Joining me, as always, is Aaron Steinberg from the Comic Book Show. Today, we're going to be discussing TLC 2016. I want to thank you for coming on, and how's it going?
It is going quite well. There's been a lot of wrestling going on lately, and it's exciting. SmackDown. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of SmackDown, and when we were deciding whether or not we were going to do this show for TLC, I kind of went back and watched some highlights. And I will say, as being mostly a Raw watcher, SmackDown is a lot better in terms of storytelling in general. So I should probably start watching SmackDown because it's good. At least the clips that I've seen have been really good. So
Yeah, well, like I said, when I went to Raw and SmackDown back in October, Raw was probably the better show, but that was probably just attributed to Goldberg being there, or like
yeah,
the first time he came back in like a long time. SmackDown, the SmackDown I went to didn't feel as epic, I guess, but I think like the wrestling was better and the storytelling was better too. Even if like it was just the Goldberg thing kind of overshadowed that. But
yeah. And I'm going to SmackDown on December 6th, so it's good that I'm kind of getting all my stuff in, so that way I can know what the heck is going on.
all right, sounds good. So we're gonna start off with and speaking of the Raw, this is just a funny moment that my friend and I that were there. The people behind us were like, I don't know if they were being like ironic or they were just joking. I think they were being serious, but the one guy's like, "Oh," and this is when the New Day is doing their promo when you're coming out. The guy said, "Oh, Kofi's my favorite. I hope he comes out." And my friend's like, "Hey, that's Kofi. He's right there." And the guy's like, "Really?" I'm like, "We're just like, yeah." I don't know if the guy was joking or whatnot. But anyway, back to the card here. We're just going from the bottom up. We're not sure if this is the correct order, but we have Heath Slater and Rhino defending the tag team championships against the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. So Randy Orton was in a brief feud with Bray Wyatt. He got injured. I think it was at SummerSlam or kayfabe injured. Was it SummerSlam when he was supposed to wrestle him, or was that It could have been
Well, no, at SummerSlam, Randy Orton wrestled
Brock Lesnar, right?
Brock Lesnar.
And then it was Clash of Champions.
Backlash, I think was it Backlash?
It was either Backlash, yeah, it must have been Backlash or No Mercy, but no, his No Mercy I think happened after, well, whatever it was. Anyway, so they were feuding, and then at the SmackDown I went to, they had Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, and then Kane came out, and a week later, Randy Orton turned on Kane and joined the Wyatt family, and he's been with them ever since. So now we're going for the tag team championships against Heath Slater and Rhino, who've had the belts since SummerSlam, or was it Clash of
I
Champions?
No, I think it was SummerSlam when they won them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've had him for a while, and we were kind of discussing this before the show started because a few days ago, this Wikipedia page that we pulled the matches from was saying it was going to be Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, or American Alpha. And they're going with the Wyatt family, and we kind of discussed this earlier that Heath Slater and Rhino are more of a face team, and you probably want to put the titles on a heel team and then have American Alpha win them somewhere later, maybe Royal Rumble, probably at the earliest, and then maybe possibly WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think so because if we look back to SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt was the last man standing in the 5-on-5 Survivor Series. Did I say SummerSlam? I meant Survivor Series.
Right.
If we look back to Survivor Series, Bray
These
Wyatt was the last man standing in that match.
yeah, these events are starting to kind of like bleed together because they're happening so frequently now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the last man standing. He took the spear for basically took the bullet from Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Randy Orton ate that spear, which was a thing of beauty. That was a really cool moment. And then what's his name? Bray Wyatt did his little Sister Abigail thing onto Roman Reigns, got the pin. So Bray Wyatt is the last man standing in the Survivor Series match. Now, to me, when you're the last man standing in a Survivor Series match and you pin Roman Reigns, that means big things are going to happen for you. Or at least it should mean that. So I
Yeah,
can't.
it doesn't always, but it should.
Yeah, it doesn't always. But to me, I think seeing Bray Wyatt be the last man standing in the Survivor Series match and kind of seeing them ride the momentum that they have been, to me, it makes sense. put the tag team championship on them, and because with Rhino and Heath Slater, like, yeah, they're a cool tag team. They're the underdogs. We want to root for them, but I think there's more storytelling potential with the Wyatts, and as much as loath as I am to say it, I think Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton would make good tag team champions. We all know, if you've been listening to the show as long as I've been on it, I'm not really a big fan of Bray Wyatt. I think he sucks, but I think he and Randy Orton together are more interesting than Rhino and Heath Slater.
Yeah, Rhino and Heath Slater, it's been fun. It was fun to see them win and get like their contracts or whatever. Oh, I know. Heath Slater was essentially wrestling for a contract for SmackDown and got that. And but I think it's been a couple months or a few months, so I think it's kind of run its course with that part of the storyline.
Yeah, I agree. I think
I
like
don't
that.
mind them sticking together as a tag team, but it would be more interesting to see what they can do with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. And I don't know, has Bray Wyatt ever had a championship in WWE?
I don't I don't think
I don't
so.
remember him ever having a championship. So this, if they give these titles to them, that could do a lot for him. If this may start him or start to build him up a little bit more than they have been. But
Yeah, and I think I do think that Bray Wyatt, as much as I don't particularly care for him, I know that there are a lot of people that do, and I think Bray Wyatt does have main event potential. And I'm sure we'll get to this when we talk about the championship match. But the main event scene is a little thin, and when I say a little thin, I mean it's really, really thin on SmackDown. So I think like you can use the tag team championship as a way to kind of build Bray Wyatt back up to insert him into that main event scene, because Bray Wyatt, for as much as, people claim to love him, he kind of has a knack for losing big matches. And that's one of my criticisms of him, is that he'll cut these promos, and it's not really a criticism of him as a performer so much as it is a criticism of like the situations that he is put in by the creative team and whoever's making the booking decisions. But he cuts these promos about how, the world is lying to you, man, and I'm going to change it, and I'm going to free your mind, and I'm going to do all these big things. And then he just loses. And he keeps losing. And eventually, you need to, if when you lose a lot, people are not going to invest in you as, a wrestler. So I think putting the tag team championship on him and Randy Orton is a good way to build up some credibility back. And I think having him be the last man standing in Survivor Series, especially pinning Roman Reigns, those are kind of the steps they're taking to give him some momentum, rebuild his credibility, and eventually, I think, put him into a higher spot. So I'm going to say that Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton for sure take this one. And
all
I
right,
think it'll be as squeaky clean as squeaky clean can be.
all right, I
Well,
got that on.
maybe not. I don't know. But
Yeah, I got that on the list, and also having him paired with Orton, who is you know generally like very very good, like is probably going to help him as well.
yeah. Well, Randy Orton is good when he cares. Like, it's really easy to tell when Randy Orton doesn't care and when he does, because when he does care and when he's into it, like, he's awesome. But when he doesn't care, he's just like, oh, okay, it's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Like, and I think back to when he was on The Authority, that was a Randy Orton doesn't care period.
Or also, I think kind of maybe TLC from 2 years ago when it was him and Cena, and
Yeah.
even I think him and Cena even knew that it's like we've done this feud already, like to death. So, but we're gonna move up to our next match here. We have Kalisto versus Baron Corbin, and I think this is a chairs match. That adds a little bit of equalization to Kalisto. So apparently, this came out of, at least as far as I know, came out of Survivor Series, where it was kind of inexplicable that Baron Corbin just came in and interfered. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then so now we're in a feud, but um, I don't know why. Like this one seems kind of out of nowhere, but like I said, the chair adds a little bit of equalization for Kalisto, but I don't want to like Baron Corbin. If he loses, it's probably like not going to be good.
Yeah. It's not going to be good for him. Now, I have a problem with chairs matches because is not a chairs match essentially just a no disqualification match? Like, do you get disqualified if you use a weapon other than a chair?
Maybe I don't know.
I have
It's
no idea. So
they should
I don't.
just yeah they should just call these no DQ matches because well I know why they do it because it's part of the title of the pay per view, but it just seems weird where it's a chair match or also like 2 years ago we had a stairs match
Yeah,
where
and
it's like do you get disqualified if you use a chair in a stairs match or a ladder in a non TLC match?
yeah, and listen, I get like the table match and the ladder match because and the TLC match because those have actually like stipulations on how you have to win. But a chairs match, you just win by pinfall or submission. It's just you can use chairs. But anyway, yeah, this is a really I don't see why Baron Corbin should care about Kalisto because here's the thing: Kalisto is going after the the cruiserweight championship. What does Baron Corbin care if Kalisto is a cruiserweight champion? He wouldn't be able to fight Kalisto in the cruiserweight division, um, and Baron Corbin honestly should be concerned about things such as I don't know, perhaps the Intercontinental Championship. I think he would be perfect for that.
Yeah,
I
there
think,
was this promo that Baron Corbin cut on like the SmackDown pre-show against Daniel Bryan was awesome, and they haven't really done anything with it. Instead, he goes after like the smallest guy on the roster, which is just maybe not the smallest guy. Maybe James Ellsworth is smaller. I don't know, but goes after somebody that is pretty much if they were just going to fight would definitely like lose.
yeah, it,
I
it just
mean,
doesn't.
the chair adds a little bit of like an element of mate that it might make Kalisto win if he does like his finisher on the chair, but then Baron Corbin can do his on the chair too.
Yeah, and I just I mentioned the lack of depth in the main event scene, and Baron Corbin. There's another guy who I think would be really good in the main event scene, or at least the hot what I guess you would call it like the high mid card in the Intercontinental Championship scene. But maybe this will be a stepping stone to him moving on to that. Um, but this match could go either way. I would prefer to see Baron Corbin
Yeah,
win,
so would
but
I.
I think that just looking at the card here, I think this is going to be a pretty heel heavy um, card as far as winners go. So I'm going to say Kalisto on this one,
Right,
just because
I'll say
there's
Corbin just so it's like a little bit different because I
yeah.
I don't want to see Baron Corbin lose, especially like what's that? He's gonna have like zero momentum if he does. But
Yeah, it would be really bad if Baron Corbin lost this match. I think Baron Corbin has more to lose than Kalisto because if Kalisto loses, it's like okay, well, in kayfabe, Kalisto, it's you can see him losing because he's a much smaller guy. It makes sense that he would get the snot beaten out of him. But Baron Corbin, if he loses to Kalisto, it's like, okay, he just lost to a guy that's like 3 feet tall. What sense does that make? So
yeah,
you're right. I think Baron Corbin has a lot more to lose than Kalisto, but I think Kalisto is going to win.
all right. We'll move up to the next match here, which is a proper no disqualification match, or just says no disqualification match. We have Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Apparently, this feud has been kind of like Total Divas esque or whatever. Like Carmella's jealous that of Nikki, and Nikki's like like whatever, and it's like I don't know. That's at least a promo at the SmackDown I went to. Uh, Basically, Carmella said that Nikki was like just all over John Cena, that she couldn't do anything without Cena and stuff like this.
And that's a cool promo.
Yeah, it
That is,
was a
I
very
mean,
good heel promo, and then Nikki came out to respond to it, and Carmella had like a video package put together of all the episodes where she just doesn't want John Cena to leave and all this other stuff.
yeah, I think
The
that's
funny thing is, the funniest part about that promo was that Nikki Bella said that she wears the pants in like her thing. I'm like, and me and my friend were joking. Yeah, we're like, that's because Cena just wrestles in shorts. But it was a,
jorts to be
it was a
accurate.
pretty good promo between the
Yeah,
both of them.
yeah.
But
And I mean, it brings us, it kind of blurs the line between reality and kayfabe, which is cool. I always like it when they do that. Um, and Carmella gave a promo on this past SmackDown that was pretty funny. She said she's gonna hit her or she's gonna chair her up so hard, or whatever the term she uses, that she's gonna knock the twins right off of her chest, or something to that effect. And it was pretty entertaining. But I don't see Carmella winning in this
Yeah, the
in
only
this feud.
way I could see her winning is if, because I don't know if her and Natalia are like friend, like, but they've been doing like a lot of stuff on Twitter where like they're like doing stuff together, but I don't know if they're like a team or if Natalia will come out and interfere. Maybe I don't really know, but again, also like you mentioned, this is very heel heavy. If we look at like the matches past this, so I can see Nikki winning as well.
Yeah, I think Nikki Bella's going to win because if I remember correctly, and I don't believe I do, did not Carmella win their last match?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't recall.
Yeah, I think she did. I could be wrong, but I think she did. So I think Nikki Bella is going to win this match just because she's Nikki Bella. You know, Carmella is so low on the totem pole that if she loses, she doesn't have much to lose as far as momentum goes. So I think she can take a loss here, move on to something else. But then again, who knows how much longer Nikki Bella has? Is she at the point where she's starting to put over the younger ladies? I don't know. Maybe this match might be telling of that, but I'm going to say Nikki Bella um, on this. But then again, it is a no disqualification match, and no DQ matches typically favor the heels, I think, because they're more willing to brutalize their opponent, if you will. So I think it could go either way, similar to the Kalisto Baron Corbin match. So I'm going to say Nikki Bella.
All right, let's move up to the next match. We have The Miz with Maurice versus Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Uh, I'm just going to probably, we'll get into the details of the match in a second, but I'm just going to say The Miz just because I don't want to see the title turn into like the women's title on Raw, which it kind of already is because Miz won it from Zack Ryder and had it for a while. Ziggler wins it, loses it immediately again, like pretty quickly to Ziggler, and then I just don't see them like wanting to hot potato that title particularly, or at least they shouldn't. But
Yeah.
I don't really know. But I mean, I'm probably going with the Miz, but I think it'll be a good match. But I don't see why they took the title off of Ziggler so quick.
Yeah, I think this will be a very good match. And if the main event was with anybody but AJ Styles, I would say this match would probably be the match of the night. But I don't think it's going to be just because AJ Styles is on the card. Um, this feud is a good feud. I love The Miz. I think his whole Hollywood Miz gimmick, like, I would say it is the best heel work happening in the whole of WWE right now, because people say Kevin Owens is a great heel, but Kevin Owens is getting pops at this point. He is popping the crowd. He and Jericho are working a comedy-esque gimmick at this point, and he's kind of like riding the line between heel and face. Whereas The Miz, people just hate his guts, and rightfully so. He's obnoxious. So I think The Miz, I'm not going to say like he needs a championship belt on him to complete the gimmick, but I think his character works so much better when he has a championship rather than when he's chasing it. Similar to the New Day, how like their gimmick is more suited to being a champion than the underdogs per se chasing the championship. So I think the Miz works better with the championship, and I think he's been doing an amazing job as the Intercontinental Champion. Dolph Ziggler, I think would also be a great Intercontinental Champion if they actually gave him some time to do something with it and let it breathe and let it simmer.
Not let it be a 2 week long thing.
Yeah.
Or it was it like 2 weeks? Maybe it was even less. I don't remember.
Um,
No, it was longer than 2 weeks, but
yeah,
it was
it was
still fairly quick
it
because
was between 2 weeks and a month. It was no more than a month.
yeah, because it was Ziggler basically was like, all right, if you want your rematch, you can have it at Survivor Series, and Miz is like, no, I'm good. And he's like, all right, then I'm gonna let somebody on Raw get the title match. And then when the card actually came out, it ended up being instead of being Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn, it was Sami Zayn versus the Miz. So it was sometime between Survivor Series and like whatever the last SmackDown pay per view was.
Yeah.
But and also you have Maurice in there, so she can obviously push the ladder over and get like knock Ziggler off of it and whatnot if she
Who, by the
decides to.
way, Maurice has been maybe, if you're not counting Paul Heyman because he's not there all the time, I would say Maurice has been the best manager um, that the WWE has had in a while. Outside of Paul Heyman, Maurice is just knocking it out of the park.
Oh yeah, from
She's
what
doing
I've seen of
such a
her,
good job.
it's great. I mean, from what I've seen, I haven't. Like I
Yeah.
said, I don't have cable, so I don't get to see all of it. I usually just catch up on clips on the network or on YouTube or wherever else.
So as far as my prediction goes, I'm gonna say the Miz wins here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
so am I.
as
And
much as I would love to see the Miz move into the main event scene, because I think um, my prediction for when the main event match is that once that feud, once the Ambrose AJ Styles feud ends, whoever is the champion at that point, I think the Miz has to be in line for a World Heavyweight Championship feud because the dude has just been knocking it out of the park. And honestly, I think he would work so well holding the top title. Um, but I guess we'll talk about that later. So I think the Miz will win here, and then maybe someone else will take the belt off him. But yeah, I say Miz wins.
yeah, I'm going with Miz as well, mostly for the fact that I don't want to see the title like switch hands so frequently. Like Sasha Banks has won the title 3 times now, and this is
Yeah.
a different title and a different show. But she won it over the summer, lost it at Survivor or SummerSlam, lost it again, lost it at SummerSlam, won it back on Raw, lost it at Hell in a Cell, won it back, I think just last week or this past Raw, from what I saw, or at least the highlights I watched. So I don't want the title to be bouncing around between just two people so frequently. I mean, if if it was somebody else wrestling Miz, I would say maybe, but I'm still going with the Miz.
Yeah, I think the Miz wins, and you're right. When you have the title bounce around like that, yes, it can. I mean, it can mean, hey, these two people who keep fighting for it are so equal that the title keeps going back and forth. But I think it more so conveys the idea that the championship is kind of, I don't want to say meaningless, but it reduces the value of the champion.
Yeah,
But
and then when it's only between two people and it's not trading between anybody else, it maybe shows that these other people are probably either WWE, at least the creative people, or the writers aren't think that they're not ready for the title yet.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for why they're doing it. Of course, I have no idea. But
Oh yeah, me
um,
neither.
I think that, and this is something for a different show maybe, but Charlotte is far and away the best female wrestler in the WWE right now from an overall perspective. She should keep the title, but let's move on because this show that we're doing right now, this isn't about Raw. We're talking about SmackDown.
All right, so next up, speaking of women's matches, we have Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this is in a tables match. I could see this one going either way as well. They've basically done the reverse of what Raw's been doing. Becky's had the title since SummerSlam, I think, and
Yeah.
they haven't really traded it. So maybe she's had it for a while. I could see her potentially losing it here.
So SummerSlam was in the end of August, right?
Yep.
So
And then
August,
Becky
September,
was
October,
had
November. Okay.
an injury for she was out for a few weeks or a couple
So she's
weeks.
had it. She's had it for about 4 months then.
Yeah,
About.
about and then also like there was like that time where she wasn't able to defend it at whatever the it was her and Alexa Bliss, and she was supposed to defend it against her maybe Clash
I
of
think that was
Champions,
No
maybe.
Mercy. No Mercy or Clash of Champions. Yeah, I
Right.
don't.
Yeah, because she was out for a couple weeks, defended it at the Scotland show where there was a weird finish where Alexa's feet were actually on the ropes and the referee didn't see it, and she brought that up on the SmackDown pre-show that if that didn't happen, the result would have been different and all that kind of stuff to build up a rematch. So this is the rematch. Becky's had it for, like you said, about 4 months. I could see her losing it. Um, I don't know if either of these women have been in a tables match before, so that'll be interesting to see like how they handle that if it's their first one.
Yeah, if they can actually break the tables.
Yeah, the tables lately have not wanted to break. And the one table that did break in the Hell in a Cell match, like it was like the end of the table.
Yeah,
Like
it
if this
broke in a
card
weird way.
is the table, you can't really. It's a Pokemon thing, but it was like it just like broke like this. Like the camera's on it. There it is.
Yeah.
Just like the small little front of it came off. And then the one table that Sasha got thrown into twice didn't want to break at all.
So hopefully the tables will break. But okay. So here's the thing about tables matches. Tables matches allow someone to lose a match without getting pinned or without having submitted. So in that sense, you have a way for someone to lose a match, but still not actually lose per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or I've
So I
seen I've seen Cena lose a tables match basically because this is I think CM Punk interfered in it, moved the table out of the way, and then was it R-Truth I think was able to like spear Cena through it like a different table. So
yeah.
Cena didn't lose like a bunch of any momentum from going through it from losing, and he didn't get pinned or tap out.
Yeah, so I think that because of the fact that Becky could lose this match, but not really appear weak because she's not getting pinned, she's not submitting. I could see Alexa Bliss winning this match, and that's going to be my prediction because I think um, if Alexa Bliss wins this match, you have the opportunity to tell the champion's story from a heel perspective, which is always good. We've told it for the past few months from a face perspective, so now we flip it around, we tell it from a heel perspective, um, and also Becky Lynch is the lovable underdog. She's similar to Daniel Bryan in that manner, similar to a lesser degree, but to Bayley in that she looks good fighting for the championship. And I think you put her back in that role, let her fight Alexa, chasing the championship, and that'll be good. And then this also gives you the opportunity to extend the feud a little bit, should they desire to. And I think they've been the highlights that I've seen have been awesome. Alexa Bliss, I think, is a very underrated performer. She's good in the ring. I wouldn't say she's great. Certainly not on the level of Becky Lynch, but she is still quite good. And her promos and her facial expressions and kind of her character are top of the notch. They're really good. So I think putting the belt on her will be a really great way to kind of knock her character up a level. And then when you have the champion as a heel, I think that presents more opportunities to kind of have more contenders for the belt because you've got Naomi, who is more or less a face. You've got Nikki Bella, who is a face. And then I think that is it because then Carmella is a heel and Natty is a heel.
Or heel,
But
like a heel-ish, I guess. I think she's
yeah,
kind of doing the like during Survivor Series. She was not necessarily heel, like she was like the captain of the SmackDown team. So it wasn't necessarily heelish, but she wasn't exactly being a face. It looked like she was just putting herself in that position to have it be about her
yeah.
and her
So
and
I
her and her cat or whatever the storyline with
I
Daniel Bryan was.
yeah, I think putting the belt on Alexa kind of opens up some new storytelling possibilities that may not have been there before. And also, I would love to see Alexa Bliss as a champion. Not necessarily because, she quote unquote deserves it, but I think that'll just be cool to see that complement her character. Because, again, her character is one that works better as a champion rather than someone chasing the championship. So
Yeah, and her, like I said, I've seen her promos like from back in NXT, and just getting better and better, and like definitely the top heel as far as like women on SmackDown for sure. And it'll be nice to see this feud has been going on for a while, like on and off. So it'll be nice to see, like you said, it from a different perspective, or like nice to see maybe someone else go after the title, or Becky try to get her rematch, maybe at the Royal Rumble or something like that.
yeah, because when you flip it and you put the championship on the heel, it essentially resets the feud in a manner of speaking, because now, while yes, you've seen the matches before, but the storytelling is very different. So it gives like a fresh perspective on an existing feud. So if they wanted to extend the feud, and it appears that the creative directors behind WWE are extending feuds these days, I think if Alexa Bliss wins, you can extend the feud without it getting stale. So I think Alexa wins this match.
Yep, that was my prediction as well. We're going to move into our main event, which is AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE World Championship, and this is our TLC match, which is probably just going to be insane as far as I can tell.
Oh, absolutely. Dean
So,
Ambrose and AJ Styles are both the type of people who will kill themselves for our enjoyment. So yeah, this match is going to be out of bounds awesome.
and then AJ's had the title for a while, and I don't see him losing. I don't see him losing it, at least not yet.
Yeah, he's been from the clips that I've seen, and again, I haven't watched a full SmackDown in a while.
I mean, and I
Uh,
love when Dean Ambrose won the title, but they didn't really do a whole lot with him when he had it.
yeah.
Because his first major defense with it was the triple threat, and that was, I mean, we all wanted to see that, and he ended up retaining it, and then lost to
Well, then,
AJ.
well, remember he had that little sort of feud with Dolph Ziggler for SummerSlam,
Oh,
and
and
I
Cena
think,
as well. I think Cena was involved in. He was involved in the AJ Styles part of it.
well, I think that the feud with Dolph Ziggler was some of Dean's finest promo work that we've seen in a long time, and it gave um, Dean Ambrose the more edgy character that at least I had been wanting to see. Funny, comical Dean Ambrose. That can be great at times, but the having the comical, funny side doesn't really mean a lot if he never shows the actual lunatic fringe side of himself
Which
every
yeah,
now
which
and
this
then.
match is basically designed to do.
Yeah.
And
So
he had a good TLC match against Bray Wyatt 2 years ago. The finish was kind of weird because it was when he grabbed the TV monitor, which was kind of like this Inception-esque kind of thing where it's like he actually saw the TV monitor on a TV monitor and saw himself on the monitor or whatever it was, and then goes to hit Bray Wyatt with it, and the cables are still plugged in, so it basically like they had it rigged to explode.
yeah,
So it exploded. He gets hit with Sister Abigail and loses. Like that match was great. There was one moment where they had this huge prop ladder that he was looking for the biggest ladder in the arena. And that was the biggest one. I think some fan pointed it out to him. They're like, "Go get that one, go get that one." And he's like, "That's too big. I can't move it." Or whatever it was. But so hopefully with him being in TLC, like he's done TLC matches before. I don't think AJ's done a TLC match, but AJ's known for like high flying moves anyway. Like we're probably gonna see like a phenomenal forearm off of the ladder and whatnot.
yeah, it's
Like
gonna be incredible from
yeah,
a match perspective.
yeah. They announced this is the first match they announced for this pay per view, and they announced this I think like right after it was on a SmackDown pre-show, but it was closely after the I think after No Mercy. I think so. They've had a while to build this particular match, and the storytelling they've been doing like the lead up to it has been pretty good. I especially liked the Survivor Series thing where they're like, all right, you're on the same team, and Dean Ambrose and like AJ Styles were still. It was Dean Ambrose was the one that was like instigating it, but like attacking him regardless. So
Yeah. Um,
I really like that. And then of course like the Shield mini reunion that we seem to be getting every couple years now.
yeah. Listen, this is going to be a great match, and they've been having a decent feud. I don't like the James Ellsworth stuff.
I don't particularly care for that much
I'm
either.
not a fan.
It was interesting, like the first like week or two, and the SmackDown I went to is when he hit the no chin music on on AJ, and everybody popped for that. It was interesting, but also I think in like it's kind of devalued AJ a little bit because he's lost to him 3 times, even though they've been like disqualification wins and whatnot. It's still a loss.
Yeah.
So having like and apparently like I hope that they just have the match be AJ and Dean and not have him get involved.
Yeah.
Or if he gets involved, have him come out and get basically just like destroyed like he did, I think, on SmackDown. I saw the clip on Twitter actually, where he hit the Styles Clash on the stairs or half of the steps, and hopefully that keeps him either keeps him out of the pay per view entirely, or if he does come out, AJ Styles can just like hit him with one move and have him be like taken out of the arena. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just wreck him. Because the thing is, like, I think of the amount of people on SmackDown. Um, there's not a lot, first of all, but like you could have Apollo Crews in James Ellsworth's position. Um, James Ellsworth is a joke, essentially, um, and I don't see him winning the championship Gilbert style. I just I don't see him amounting to anything more than a couple of laughs. I think AJ Styles is going to win this match because I think at WrestleMania we're going to have John Cena get his 16th title reign and tie Ric Flair.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, it's probably going to happen, but
Yeah,
and if it's anybody, I guess like I can as long as it's like tied and not broken, that might work. But even if Cena breaks it, I would probably be kind of all right with it, just because Cena's been there. It's he's been there a long time, like as far as like other wrestlers go. So he probably is like the one that should break it the most. But also, it's kind of weird because it took Ric Flair like 20 years, and if Cena breaks it next year, he'll have been with the company 14. So I guess it actually isn't as um, it's not
yeah,
like he's won it like 16 times in like a 5 year period.
yeah, and also keep in mind that the 16 title wins of Ric Flair, those are only the ones that the WWE chooses to acknowledge. He's actually won world championships a lot more than that. They just don't
They don't
count
acknowledge it because
a
basically
lot of
they
them.
don't own the title that,
Yeah.
or but yeah, because so most of those are from the either the WWE Championship on its own or the WCW like the Big Gold Belt Championship, which
Yeah,
they
they don't count
retired.
a lot of his NWA stuff from when, like from the 70s. Um, so that's fine. And I think John Cena, I can't think of another wrestler who deserves it. Like John Cena is the biggest name or is the biggest superstar since, you know, Stone Cold or The Rock,
Or at least
that
like
era.
has like the staying power. I still think
Yeah.
probably like The Rock and Stone Cold are probably like more over than Cena. But
Yeah.
it's just like Cena's been there since like 2002. He's never worked anywhere else, as far as I know. Even though apparently I saw this video on YouTube about it was like 10 things WWE want you to forget about John Cena or whatever it was called. That his first actual appearance was in that WCW movie, but he
Oh,
wasn't working for WCW. He was just basically like an extra that was in a
yeah.
gym. But Cena's been there like almost yeah, so he's been there since like for like 14 years now. About
Yeah,
he's been
about.
winning championships since maybe like 2005, I think was his first world title reign. So it's been about 11 years since he's actually like been in like the main event picture, like on and off, of course. And like as much as I don't like John Cena, like I like his matches. I just didn't like the way that it was like he was like booked to like just win the title every time. And
Yeah.
the last title reign he had was kind of he kind of had to they had to put it on him because it was Daniel Bryan got injured and they needed a new champion, and none of the other wrestlers that were like in that match were probably like ready to be champion yet.
Yeah.
The only like logical choice, and this is I think TLC from like 2014, the only other person that could have been champion would have been Randy Orton because he was in that match. Like it was like Roman Reigns, Randy Orton. I think Kane may have been in it. I don't remember exactly, but it was either going with Orton Orton or Cena, and then we got that match with Cena and Lesnar where Cena just got destroyed.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had the championship since then, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's
So
been over 2 years, like two and a
yeah,
half.
and I think his US championship run was very, very good. His whole open challenge was I thought that was fantastically
Yeah,
done.
that gave us, like great matches. Even though Sami Zayn got hurt, it gave us a great match with him and Sami Zayn. It gave us Kevin Owens debuting on Raw,
Yeah.
and like still transitioning out of NXT, but it also gave us the really good series. Even though Cena won the series, but it was Kevin Owens won the first match out of that, so that was a great way to basically propel him to like almost to like the main event scene in one match
Yeah.
on Raw, like not 2 years ago, yeah, about a year and a half ago.
So as far as this match goes, though, yeah, I see. Well, okay. So here's the thing, though. If we look at I pulled up real quick the SmackDown roster, just so I can kind of get a look at things here. If if AJ Styles wins, I think the feud between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles has been going on for a long time. So I think having the final blow off match as a TLC match makes sense. So let us say that AJ Styles wins. Who else besides John Cena is there to fight him?
Oh, I don't know.
No
Nobody
one.
is. Yeah, I mean,
There's
there are people they could build up, but like it's like Baron Corbin's a good example of somebody that could be in that spot, but the way like they're working him with Kalisto right now, so I don't think it'll be Baron Corbin, even though
and also that's a heel match, which does not work, unlike a face match, which works. So I think like it makes sense. Have AJ Styles have Dean Ambrose win, and then that opens up a lot of other possibilities. You can have The Miz. You can have Baron Corbin. Depending on what happens with the tag team championships, you could if Rhino and uh, Heath
oh,
Slater
yes, later.
retain, you could have Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt go for the WWE Championship. So I could see it again going either way, but I'm going to say AJ Styles retains on this one, and I think John Cena will be his next feud.
Yeah, and also there's rumors at the Royal Rumble that AJ wants to fight Shawn Michaels. I don't know if that's going to happen
I
because
highly doubt that.
right now the only match that's listed on the Royal Rumble page is the actual Royal Rumble itself, and the only two people that are in it currently are Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. But I think the reason that AJ wanted that is because it is happening in San Antonio, so Shawn Michaels doesn't have to travel to get there. He lives there or he lives close by. That would be a great match, and I don't know if they're going to do that, but there were rumors that that's a match that AJ Styles wanted to have. And I guess if Shawn Michaels is feeling up to it, they could do it, and it would be an awesome match, but I don't know if they're going to actually do that.
Yeah, and
And then
I just
also,
remembered
if he
also he
has the
got the
title,
Undertaker.
at this time, um, obviously the Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles match is not going to be for the title, so it'd be like you would have him wrestling at the Royal Rumble but not defending the title.
Yeah. And then the Undertaker too. I don't remember where I heard it, but I read somewhere in an interview that AJ Styles would be willing to uh, defend the title against the Undertaker, and that
That
could
could be
be a
interesting.
WrestleMania match. Um,
That'd be interesting, but then also since Undertaker is essentially like he makes appearances here and there now, but his big match is usually at WrestleMania. Does AJ drop the title to the Undertaker and then the Undertaker? That's kind of weird because I don't
no,
know if
I think if that were to happen, you would have the Undertaker lose, and because I listen, how many more matches does the Undertaker have in him? I
I don't
think
know.
one, maybe two more. So I think if you do have the Undertaker versus Dean Ambrose, or not Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles at WrestleMania for the championship, I think that would be more or less a retirement match where he goes out on his back as traditionally you do in the wrestling business. Um, but who knows? This is all pure speculation. But like I said, as far as this match, I think AJ Styles retains, but then again, like I said, I think there's a lot more possibility with Dean Ambrose winning as far as new matchups. But yeah, I say AJ Styles retains.
Yeah, I'm going with AJ as well. I'm going to be doing a work thing, so I'll be able to watch. I'll be able to watch all of it live, but I'm definitely going to watch what I can live, and then probably go back and watch the rest. And this is coming up Sunday on the WWE Network. I don't even know if it's available on pay per view anymore, or if everything's on the network now.
I think they're all network exclusive at this point.
Okay, yeah, because it's kind of weird where, and that's like one of the best things about the network is this would cost like what $40 or $50 if you ordered it from a
Yeah.
cable company. But $9.99 a month, and we're not even getting paid to say that, but we should be. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we should.
All right, but that's going to wrap up our predictions. I want to thank Aaron for coming on and hanging out. Why don't you tell us about your comic book podcast?
If you like pop culture, you like nerdy, geeky stuff, listen to the Comic Book Show. It's a great time. And we're getting ready to do a holiday giveaway. I have no idea what we're going to be giving away, but it's probably going to be good. You can find it at www.epiccomicshow.com, or you can find it on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from.
All right, sounds good. You can follow Aaron on Twitter at Aaron Steinberg. You can follow me at Icewarm. And that's going to do it for this episode. We're probably going to skip Roadblock and probably come back for the Royal Rumble. I
Yeah, that
may
sounds
I
good.
I may do like a solo thing for Roadblock. I don't really know. But until then, we want to thank you for watching and take care.
See you next time.